Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me live. I'm just going to sign into my phone here and make sure everything's looking good. Definitely quite different here in Michigan the last 2 days weather-wise. Thursday and Friday we had like 65, 70 degree weather, and now it's right back to like low 40s. So we're officially in November now. Shut down a few things here. So yeah, welcome to my live holiday tip. As you can see, I'm in the spirit already. Got my Christmas hat. This has just been my thing since I was a little kid. I got everything going tonight. I got my kids' Halloween candy, the best candy right there, Reese's. That's my 2-year-old. My 9-year-old would kick my butt if I was stealing it. Got my tea, lemon ginger, holiday cup. To be honest with you, this was the craziest Halloween I think my kids have ever had. Like, we went like all around the neighborhood. We walked a mile probably. I think we totaled. And filled up a whole stroller of candy, and basically they each got like 10 to 12 full-size candy bars. So we have like 20 full-size candy bars total, and like just buckets of candy. So obviously times aren't that tough. I mean, I've never seen that many full-size candy bars ever. So must not be that bad for some people. So yeah, I'm just going to I just want to hop on and talk a little bit about some holiday tips. I've been really thinking about it lately, and I figure maybe you all could use some tips and some ideas of just kind of what's, what might be helpful, because I think we're all a little stressed out with inflation right now. So yeah, let's just get kind of diving right in. I'll get my tea going here. Excuse me. So, yeah, how are we feeling? I mean, there's 42 days left till Christmas right now, you guys. I can't believe that. 42 days, a little under a month and a half. Are we saving? Are we saving enough? Are you behind? I feel all of those questions right now, to be honest with you. As a family, we had a lot of changes this year, and a lot of kind of unexpected things come up over the last few months. I started full-time my business in February, earlier this year. We had household things that just kind of came out of the blue that we had to take care of. Our cars needed a few things earlier than we expected. My wife's car drives me nuts. If you know me and know our family about our back doors right now on her car, it's a Ford. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but it's everything's expensive. Then during the year we saw inflation, right? Inflation has really jumped up. Groceries, gas has gone way up in the last 6 to 10 months, realistically. The hardest. It's going to be hard to believe, but it's true. We don't have as much as we normally save for Christmas. Usually I'll tell you our plan, we usually save about $40 to $50 a month starting around July-ish. It's just always been our plan. Just so we can be prepared and have, really nice gifts and all that. Not so much this year. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, luckily we got some bonus money coming in from Carrie, in the next week or so. So we'll catch all up on what we were a little bit behind on this year. But if it wasn't for that, we probably would have had reduced, Christmas spending, to be honest with you. So being the financial coach, excuse me, get a little more code in my tea here. Being the coach that I am, kind of your go-to money guy. That's my shirt that I usually wear. I'm wearing the Steelers shirt today because they won. It was a good weekend for football. I know people are struggling. I mean, we can't deny it. Thinking how the hell, excuse my French, am I supposed to get through the next couple of months before the holidays and not fall off track, right? So I came up with a couple steps or a couple things that I've been really pondering, especially the last week, because I didn't even realize it was already second week of November, which is crazy. The weather, the extreme warm weather here in Michigan is unusual until yesterday. So we were kind of thrown off by a week or two. I think we were blessed with that. But step one or tip one that I was thinking is for my brain. I know it sounds tacky, but I want you to just take a few deep breaths. It's going to be fine. There's no reason to panic about the holidays. It's time to stay in the path, and we can still have fun with Christmas. That's the best part. It's a very important time for a lot of us, especially our family. We love Christmas. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there watching this that are like, yeah, Christmas is huge. Trying to change that attitude or what your normalcy is for each Christmas could really be detrimental on your children, your nieces, your cousins, your parents, whoever you buy for, whoever you celebrate with, and most importantly, you. I want you to understand this. I'm not pumping you up to go say, hey, Brian just said I got this. Let me go spend a ton of money on Christmas. I'm going to forget all about my debts. Everything's going to be great. That's not what I'm saying at all. Kind of what I am saying is I want you to organize and kind of have just as much fun with Christmas as I said as previous years. Your health depends on it, I believe. I really do believe that. So what does that look like? Well, if you haven't already, we like to sit down and write out a list. Write out this list that needs who you're going to be buying for, the amount you're going to plan, the items if you know it. If you don't have the items, it's not a big deal. And that way you have a full scope on what you have on a sheet, and you can begin to budget for that if you haven't already. We write this out because we're visual people, both my wife and I. We have to see it. We have to see, let's just say, the 7 or 8 people we're buying for, the amount we have planned, and then we can kind of factor in and say, all right, let's get going on this. And if we have to make some slight adjustments, we can do that, but at least we know what we're trying to accomplish. That leads me into the next thought. And this is more so for people that have kids, because we've learned this a lot with our 9-year-old lately. Buy experiences. And what I mean that is kids get over things very quickly. If you buy them a lot of toys or something over Christmas, I noticed that my son, and I'm sure a lot of other parents' sons and daughters and all that do that. They'll play with it for like a week or two, and then they'll be like, oh, I got these other 8 toys. Don't worry about that. And it goes into the back room, right? For the next few months. That's how we do it. And then boom, it goes away. So, he doesn't need a whole new set of toys and gadgets every holiday, every birthday. He ends up using it, like I said, for a couple weeks, and poof, it's like gone. So we realized that he loves certain things instead. Culver's. He likes some fast food. He likes his Burger King. He likes Target to go pick out his own toys. He likes a place called what's called Pump It Up or Airtime here. You can go jump around and all that. And he likes Dave & Buster's too for video games and all that. So we decided to kind of go with the gift card thing with our children. Not my 2-year-old, but, my 9-year-old. Because he likes doing all that thing. And it's more of an experience for him versus, hey, here's a Lego, or here's, a Ninja Warrior or whatever, some type of figurine that you're going to play with for 2 weeks. And then, we forget about it. It's something to think about. And that kind of allows you to say, okay, I'm buying gift cards. Yeah, it's lame, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the excuse is for not buying gift cards, but I like gift cards. I, even as an adult, like gift cards. Certain golf store I like to go to, or Amazon, or Target, or, for me, it's, Fanatics to go buy some Detroit Pistons stuff, even though they stink this year again. Anyway, we're not going to get into that, but you get my point. I know that's, going to be a little different, but it's not a bad idea for some people to have kids. That's just kind of a side note there. So let's get into the next thing that I'm thinking about. And this one's going to be hard for some people. Excuse me. It's okay. even though I'm going contradict of what I kind of just said, it's okay to cut down on what you're buying price-wise and who you are buying for. So it's not really going back on what I said earlier. And let me explain that. Not every set of friends, parents of friends, kids of neighbors, etc., need a gift every year. I know that's tough to hear. If you let others know in advance, the inquiry of saying, hey, I have to be honest, inflation's tough. I need to save a little bit of money this Christmas. What do you think about holding off on gifts for little Timmy? And instead of exchanging gifts between me and you, maybe just come over for a nice dinner, glass of wine, whatever you want to do. That doesn't sound so bad, right? I don't think it does. I would love to have one of my friends, or if a neighbor wanted to do something like that, or somebody that I don't like necessarily, not immediate family, I guess you could say, and might buy a present instead, like, come on over for dinner. I would rather just catch up and chat. That's, I think, as a public and generation, we kind of went away from that a little bit. So that's just like something I was thinking about. It's a good way to save a little bit of money here and there, is maybe just buy one or two less gifts. It's, if your friends, neighbors, distant family that you buy for, even though you barely see them once a year, they don't understand and they don't get what you're trying to do for a certain money goal or savings, then reconsider that relationship. I'm not trying to sound harsh, but I think most people will understand. You have a goal. Hopefully most people will agree with that goal and say, you know what, that sounds like a fun time. I would love that. I'll bring the wine, right? You make the dinner, I'll bring the wine. And then finally, I know cash is going to be limited. I can't sit here and tell you that people have, clients and other people have said, hey, I got Christmas coming up. It feels scary with inflation. I'm scared. I mean, most people, I think I told you about a survey a few months ago that I read, that are making over $100,000 are still nervous about inflation. That's a lot of money. Just because cash is limited does not mean grabbing all the plastic you can and going crazy on spending. That's going to cost you in January. You're going to wake up in January and say, oh my God, how much did I just charge on my credit cards? Doesn't give you an excuse to do that. Let's not make it a January problem, right? Let's stick with the budget. Get creative with some gifts. Consider things like having, like I said, a Friendsgiving or a holiday party even. Just have people over for dinner, where everyone brings a dish, instead of buying that case of beer or whatever you normally buy your friends, or, whatever. But, it's just something you have to think of, that maybe you spent money on non-immediate families, non-close to friends, you see them once a year or whatever it is. It's not a big deal. It's okay. Have experiences instead. So, that's just a few basic tips that I just wanted to get. There's so much more you can do. But I wanted to just kind of get that in tonight. If you have any questions, let me know about that. I don't see any questions. I'm looking right now. I missed a question or two last time, so I want to make sure. No, there's no questions as of right now about Christmas. That sounded bad. No questions about Christmas. Just forget it. But yeah, so this was just something I just kind of wanted to do because I was thinking about it a lot this week with things quickly coming up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was useful. Hopefully it got you thinking really quick. Oh my God, there's 42 days till Christmas. And if you're lost, you're unorganized, you're still stressed about your money, make sure to set up that free call with me. I'll drop it in the comments below. It's on my website, MadelineFinancialCoaching.com, under the Work With Me tab. You get a free 30 minutes just to chat and see if we can get some help under your belt. And then I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving that's coming up, and soon to be holiday and Christmas. And hopefully I'll do another Q&A answering some questions before, like Christmas holiday version in December coming up. I got some big things coming up with Madeline Financial Coaching in the next 2 to 4 months. I can't wait to tell you about that. Some big events and some other things coming up. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, thank you for joining me. See, look at this. I cut it right under 15 minutes. This is beautiful. I'm going to go eat my other Reese's peanut butter cup. And yeah, you guys have a good night.